This video was brought to you by Stormberg, ABRP Planner, MisterGreen, Kempower and Markus Bil. Launch number 1. Launch number 2. Launch number 3. Launch number 4. Launch number 5. Launch number 6. Launch number 7. Launch number 8. Launch number 9. We are on the way back now, and you see here we have 4% state of charge left, and here we have the power limit 94. You see it keeps dropping and dropping, but here interestingly now it seems like after some updates the car is keeping the battery at higher temperature than before. So you see we have almost 40 degrees Celsius, which is very good, because even at 4% we still have 90 kilowatt. We don't have any weird limp mode. I can even accelerate more if I want to. So yeah, it seems like the problems we had with what is this? Slow down. Okay, no, it slowed down because of the truck. Oh, okay. What the heck is that truck doing? Dude, stop texting. Shit. Okay, but let's see. Yeah, because now we start regenerating also. But yeah, I guess once I have time I will test this in winter. But it's looking really good so far. No weird limp mode or anything. Yeah. Alright, we're back home now. Let's take a look at the results in the Google Sheet. So first look at the noise. To my big surprise, when I measured noise, it wasn't that much lower. Okay, I think you have to compare this one with this one. This is the old one from I don't know when. You see it has exact same dimension. Was it really Palace Sport 4S, not 4? I'm not sure. But okay, anyway. Very similar result here, but maybe a little pinch lower noise, you see. But keep in mind that, you know, that stretch that I've been driving at near Kløfta, the asphalt over there, tarmac, is getting more and more worn out. So it means that as the years go, that stretch will be noisier and noisier. So you can say that maybe we have a little bit of noise. Maybe every year it becomes 0.1, 0.2 decibel noisier there. Kind of hard to measure it. Well, unless I use a reference car with the exact same tires every year, but then, yeah. So, but again, like, at least it seems to be 0.5 decibel lower noise here, okay, according to this one. And also, other people also claim that it's noisy. Even I claim it. It's less noisy than before. But for some reason, I don't know why again. You see here, the made in China was half decibel more quiet again. Why was that? Was the car, is it because the car is not as heavy? Does it have anything to do with it? Or is it because this is from China, this is from Fremont? I don't know, but at least we measure the noise and it seems to be better. Okay, anyway, let's move over to acceleration, shall we? So here, what you want to compare is, I guess, this versus this one. These are both the, okay, it's 2021, yeah. Okay, my bad. I have a little bit of bad naming here. But these are the 2021 models, you see, but the last one was measured in winter, right around Christmas time, you see, with Nuken R3, so studless winter tires. But actually, I have to say, really good results still with studless winter tires. I don't know if it was wet or dry back then. Well, probably, I think it was dry, but very good that you can accelerate almost as good as summer tires. But I don't know if you actually have more power or not. But it is pretty fast. And also another thing I corrected now in the spreadsheet is that some people are confused that when you see some numbers here, for example, for the Model 3 Performance, this one, yeah, I even put a note here because Tesla's been using 1 foot rollout to give you better numbers. But I guess after checking it a little bit, also many people say that they tend to do that only for performance, Model S or X or whatever, but they don't do it for the long ranges. So I corrected it, so at least the performance numbers here are the one with 1 foot rollout. This one is without, so according to spec, 4.4 second. So that it does it. The old one did it right around there, and the new one is 0.1 second. So it's very common. You see that most cars, most EVs I test, they are actually a little bit faster in spec. But I also have another spreadsheet called acceleration test 90 to 10%. So here I measure what we did, what you guys saw in the beginning of the video, but also because it's Tesla and it's considered fairly good performance, high performance cars, I test all the way. And one guy suggested that why don't you start at 10% and then do the launch and then charge it to 20% and then do the launch. Well, I think it might not be the same, because then the heat in the battery might not be the same, and you tend to, I mean, I test it the way you would usually drive it, because you charge it up and then you discharge it, and as you discharge it, the battery will also cool down a little bit. So yeah, I will still do the 90 to 10%, even though actually for this car, I remember it took me it took me about 20 minutes to drive between the 90%. It took 20 minutes to discharge 10% because the car was so efficient. I was averaging around 185 watt per kilometer while hammering it on the motorway. But you see here, what you want to compare again is these two ones, and you see the 82 kilowatt hour pack is slightly faster, right? Or is it? Oh yeah, it is actually slightly faster all the way. But then if we go a little bit further, what can I see? Can I do this? Scroll here. You see I have the normalized numbers here. So these are the numbers, yeah, it's normalized. And you see that it is dead stable. Man, my neighbor dog. Oh. Sorry for that. It's dead stable all the way until 10%. All the cars, most cars, they tend to make a little dip at 10%. So nothing to see, right? 1.07 seems also to be on par with the Mach-E standard GTX. You see very close here. The only exception is the e-tron GT and the made in China, the LFP battery. But last one here I'm going to show you is that these are the numbers I usually record for most EVs, but also for Tesla I record a little bit more detailed data since I have it in ScanMyTesla. By the way, you can find information about ScanMyTesla in the description below, how to get the adapter, how to get the app and everything. I always include that in every video I have. But again, when I look at this one, I guess, versus, yeah, this time we might compare many other numbers here, because the performance was performing pretty bad, but this was done last winter when it was cold outside. But the performance had like a flaw where it was sucking the battery too cold. I can show you here if I highlight these two. You see that the battery started fairly warm-ish, but it was pretty cold outside when I tested it. That's why I didn't get past 45, almost 50 degrees like I did this run. But you see that it was sucking it cold because it scavenged the heat to save energy. But it's it scavenged it a little bit too much, you know. Don't suck it too dry. So it seems like Tesla must have fixed something, because this time it stays at around 30 degrees roughly all the way, and then towards the end it even goes up. I get the impression that Tesla purposely keeps the temperature a little bit higher. You also saw the last clip when I was driving almost back home, that it kept it higher, because the higher the temperature, the better the battery performs at lower state of charge. So Tesla will figure out something about this. And you can also see here, when you look at the maximum power, let's say you compare these two, because these two should be the same battery, so these are the ones we want to compare against. It has the Panasonic battery, whereas the all long range with a smaller, slightly lower range, it has the LG battery, so it's a slightly different chemistry and all that. But of course, performance, they are pulling a little bit more power from it. But what you can see is that at one point, already here at 50% is kind of neck and neck, and then the performance was doing it quite poorly. So what I'm saying is that yes, you guys be like, yes, do it now. I should get my hands on the performance with the heat pump, with the, you know, the same car as I tried, but now in summer, and now with updated software. And then I believe that the performance, let me see if I check this one. This was MC Hammer, the 2019. The performance of the latest the top one, pretty much, should be more like MC Hammer, whereas where you have very even power all the way, very linear or fairly linear until the end, something like that. Yeah. So now you guys have seen it. I like what I see. It's performing way better. I can mention that when I took the trip to the Arctic Circle with this car, I also discharged it to 1% towards the end near Klet, and I was like, but I had ScanMyTesla. I know that as long as the BMS is nice and healthy, the battery is well calibrated, you can go down to 0 or very close to 0, especially in summer when it's nice and hot. Fairly safely, but you kind of need to know what you're doing. You need to get ScanMyTesla preferably, so you know how much you have left and you can see power limit very accurately. I still don't recommend noobs or people who don't know too much about EVs to go down to 0, because things could happen. The BMS is wacky, and then you end up the car shuts down. And also in the case where, like we saw last year or winter, that the performance for some reason was not performing that well, and if the battery is cold, if you, for example, discharge to 10%, let's say a scenario where you soak the battery down to 10% overnight at the cabin, and then you find out in the morning, oh no, I want to go fast charge, but then you have to go uphill before you reach a fast charger. You think you might make it there, and then at 1% the car might shut down because the battery is simply too cold, and the BMS figures out that it's not safe to discharge, or I don't know, like something like that. But yeah, so for future, I guess I will try to get a hold of the performance. I think that's important, right? The performance before the new trim and whatever, and try that one to verify that the problem has been fixed. But of course, to finally verify it, I had to wait until the winter, and we have to test the LFP battery in the Standard Range Plus and also the performance again, but that will be in a couple of months. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.